Wilson Morales talking to Joey Cheng and Christy Correa regarding Real Works and its upcoming programs that's going to be happening throughout 2021. Hello, folks. How are you?
We're great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So, Christy, let's start off with you. And what's your responsibilities and what are we expecting this year?
Yeah, so my name is Christiamilda Correa. I go by Christy. I'm the Director of Individual Giving and Events at Real Works, and we have an exciting lineup of events. This Wednesday, we have our town hall on inclusion with young ambassadors open to the community, and we're excited to share more details with you.
Joey?
Hi, I'm Joey. I'm the communications manager at RealWorks. I've been working closely with Christy just in terms of the communications front of this town hall, organizing to get the word out to other community partnerships and schools and students, and make sure that this is really a youth-led conversation on inclusion in media, and really, talking about that topic in detail, and having students be able to share their voices and concerns.
Before we go to the event itself and the topic, obviously it's town hall. Is this in person or virtual?
It's a virtual event. We've had our last one also virtual. It kind of started during the town hall series kind of just started when the team were talking about the conversations around social justice, and especially happens during the summer when the Black Lives Matter movement really started to gear up, and we really wanted to act on it. And we know that it's an important topic to our students, our staff. And so it kind of started with the team producing two very beautiful and thought-provoking pieces on justice and reform, and wanting to do more beyond that, beyond the video production that they put together with educators and activists sharing their opinions on those topics. And so we had our first town hall in October of last year, talking about justice and reform, and it was a great experience with a lot of panel members talking about their backgrounds in social justice and civic issues and education reforms that they were implementing. But then this one came about, and we really wanted to make sure this time it was really centered around the youth voices and the youth in our community, to have that space to kind of express the concerns that they're having with issues of inclusion and diversity in the media industry, and something that is, something that they're very deeply connected to. So this next one is the second one that we'll be hosting, but we'll be continuing this series and creating this space for our youth.
I get the feeling that, for a good period of time, at least through Real Works, we've always been talking about diversity and inclusion. And obviously more so now because of recent events, it's taking a front seat where a lot more people are getting woke in terms of like adding more to it and including a lot more people, including the youth. And obviously which is why, the youth are trying to address their concerns. What are we getting that's different in a way that people probably have not heard before that you guys are presenting? Christy? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what's really exciting is that we've curated a panel of experts in their field, thought leaders, who are comprised of different sectors in the industry. We have Bella Lavelle, who is working in front of the camera as an actress. She's on NBC's Mr. Mayor. We are also talking to Daisy Rosario, who's an executive producer of original content over at Stitcher. So she's giving us a perspective from the radio podcast, having done work as a Latinx woman in the industry over the last several decades, as well as Sharita Peterson, who identifies as African-American. She's a senior creative director over at MTV Entertainment Studios, as well as having a voice from the AAPI community, from Tonalyn Sadeko, who is a writer, director, and creative educator for queer migration film series, as well as Studio Atau. And they consider themselves a booty shaking, genderqueer love warrior. So we made sure that in this conversation that we framed it balanced between adults and students. We have what we call youth ambassadors, who are the representatives who have gone through the Real Works program, whether it's the doc series or media makers. And they've really been at the forefront of helping craft every element of this event with us. And what's great is that we're co-moderating this with Emily Freer, who is a Real Works ambassador, as well as Valerie Blanks, who was the moderator in our October town hall. So both of those perspectives are going to be critical in creating a voice and lending various intergenerational lenses. And finally, we were really thoughtful in terms of incorporating all aspects of inclusion. We were able to secure ASL, American Sign Language interpreters, from SignNexus. So they'll be in the event for any folks who are deaf or hard of hearing as well.
So I take it's more or less about connecting with those who are already in, so that they keep the doors open for others to come in and more. So that way it's not so much I don't know how long it will be before the playing field is leveled equally, but just so enough that it feels that they're being heard and represented. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely Real Works has been at the forefront in terms of addressing the needs of, diverse populations, really motivated and talented youth who may not have had access or opportunity. And so the folks on this panel also want to amplify that. They're folks in their field who speak up in rooms and ensure that equity is available for all. And we want to really underscore with the young people who are in attendance that they too have the power, and they too can make a difference day to day in whatever room that they're in.
Hey, Joey, have you looked at the stats as far as what is not, who's not in the room, as far as, who needs to be in the room, and how can we ensure that they're in the room?
For this event, we're definitely opening it up, like Christy said, both to adults and young people, all alike. I think one of the things that we hoped we had done better is probably with earlier promotion around this and putting it out forward to our community more. But one of the things that we're really excited about is being able to share this with all the people in that are connected to our young people, connected to our community. And of course, we'd love for everyone who are interested in and really care about diversity in media to attend. I think that having those people with influence and power from the top be able to come out to our town hall, be able to hear about what our young people are saying and what matters to our community is something that's very important. We'd really like to capture those audiences moving forward in the future and be able to share that more broadly and reach as much as possible to others.
I feel that marketing is a big key to anything, especially nowadays, since we've been operating through virtually and there's so many things that are out there. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you don't know where you're going, whether you find something that's on LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever social media is, and I guess those are the tools now in order to reach people. When we all wake up, we go through our phones, we scroll down, or unless it's in our inbox and there's something there that sells, it says, let me read the rest of it. Okay. And then making sure we pay attention to the date. How are you using social media to reach out to people? Because that's basically what it is. When this event happens in Wednesday, May, throughout the year, it's about how to reach and connect to people through social media. Now that, it's Instagram and it's a flyer or Twitter and people are talking, or the Clubhouse, which is the new app, I guess, that's that people are communicating with things. What are the avenues you're strongly looking at to connect with people?
Yeah, social media is such an important part, as you alluded, and such an important part, especially now, while that's our main form of communication with everyone. We're using all of our social media channels to really make sure to bring the awareness out on this event on our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our eBlast, which has about 6,000 subscribers to it. So we're really leveraging all of those platforms and making sure that we get the word out. I think one of the things that we find really effective is making sure that other people are sharing out the event from their channels. And so something that's been really exciting is that the youth ambassadors have been recording their own IG stories about why inclusion is important to them and sharing that on social media and tagging us and making sure that their friends know that this event is happening and that they're invited and that they can be part of the conversation too.
What is the goal in the middle of the event, after the event, that you want to accomplish? You know, obviously the first thing right now is to get the audience, keep them aware so they know that the event is happening, you know, but then when it's over, you know, what's your end game as far as what you want people to take away with it, as opposed to like, okay, you sign off and what's the next step? You know, are there programs set in motion as far as what you want people to do for anybody that's watching?
We have a,
Either or, anybody can answer.
I was just going to say that we have a toolkit that we're putting together for people to take home with them. And it has resources and it has other like materials and articles that we have been collecting with our youth about different topics, from what land are you standing on in terms of like Native American land, and then also how to make Zoom more inclusive when we're hosting other people with ASL, and making sure there's closed captioning, and a lot of different resources that we've gathered together to make sure that our attendees will really be able to take home and help educate themselves, help make sure that they act upon it after the event is over as well.
Mm-hmm. Anything you want to add to that, Christy?
Yeah, I'd love to add that we are making all of these tools accessible online. You know, people can scroll through, download the content, share it with friends, and also that our youth ambassadors are also will continue to be the leaders and share in conversations with us throughout the year. So this is one of what we hope is continued conversations with the community. So we really want to hear from folks who attend what other topics, especially relating to diversity and inclusion, that they want to hear about, because RealWorks has been doing this and doing it well. We've been the leader in the field for over 2 decades, and we're hoping that this town hall and the way that we're approaching the event so thoughtfully and including a variety of voices in different levels of career, that it can serve as inspiration for other nonprofits or other organizations who are creating these type of conversations and mobilizing communities. And we'd be happy to you know, share and speak with any individual who'd want to partner with us or learn more.
How active is the network, whether it's mentors, alumni? You know, obviously have everybody's participated as far as mentoring the newcomers who are coming in, the youth, you know, who want to explore and go through RealWorks as far as, you know, gaining insight into the industry that would help them out. Joey?
Yeah, our mentors are very active in our community. One thing that we pride ourselves in is being able to offer one-on-one mentorship to students in our core programs, and allow them to really pair up and have that intimate bonding experience with a filmmaker in the industry. And so what we've been finding out through our alumni surveys and you know, surveys that we've been doing throughout the years is that a lot of our students still connect with their mentors even after the program is over, and to be able to build on that relationship. And so that's something that we definitely find is something that has been effective and really important to have, like a adult figure in someone's life that can help them throughout the process as they try to break through in the industry that is often very hard to break through without connections and without that background. And so it's something that we find that it's very effective and just an experience where I think like you can have a person that you can connect with besides perhaps the other adults in your figure that really might be able to encourage you in the process as you're applying to college or, going through high school and moving through those motions that they have done at before.
Mhm. And before I let you go, Christy, what can you add as far as what's coming up for the rest of the year? If there's a schedule put in place.
Absolutely. To add to this conversation about mentorship and passing along the torch, we have this series called our master classes. We've had everyone from Whoopi Goldberg and Carmen Ejogo and the folks from Spike Lee's team teach master classes to our students. So upcoming in April, Shaka King, the director of Judas and the Black Messiah, will be speaking to the students. So we're really thrilled that he'll be lending his time. And upcoming on April 28th, we're delighted that our host, Brian Terrell Clark, he is a Broadway and Hollywood actor. He played George Washington in Hamilton and is seen in a number of Ava DuVernay's pieces. He's going to be hosting a living room concert because he's actually a musician. So he'll be singing 5 or 6 songs. So save the date for the living room concert on April 28th. And after that, we'll have a screening of the Outcalled, which is our awards for our most talented filmmakers in May. And of course, culminating to our gala, our 20th anniversary Real Works Gala, which is on Wednesday, May 26th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be virtual.
Well, ladies, it's been great talking to you, obviously sharing what's coming up, starting with this week and what's coming up throughout the next few months.